Hey guys, welcome back to Micho Makes. My name is Micho. I like to make stuff. Today I've got part number 62 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. This is the 1/8 scale massive model that we're building together. And without any delay, let's jump right into this one. Alright, starting off, we've got our cover here. We've got our frames. We all know and love. We got our pieces here. And looks like we have the bottom of our sheet there. And we've got our magazine. Okay, let's jump right in the magazine. Okay. So this feature is on cars with nicknames again. And this one in particular is the Skyline. Nissan Skylines. And I don't know too much about the Skylines and their whole history, other than they look cool as hell. Like the Hakosuka, that is such a cool and iconic car. I'm gonna focus on this so you guys can pause and read it if you'd like. Looking at the styling of this one, this is kind of crazy styling. Definitely like 1983. You can see it there, but such a cool concept. There, more history on that. Make sure it's nice and focused for you. Yeah, this is right here, the third generation Skyline right here. The fastback models always look super cool. I don't unfortunately know too much about Skylines other than they're cool as hell. Obviously, the old ones are really nice. The newer ones, the R32, R33, R34 are always the iconic ones everybody knows about. But the old ones those are mad flex when you have something like that. Especially the third generation, the Hakosuka. People love those ones. And they look really cool too. Awesome. All right. Okay, here. The Corona. Don't know too much about the Coronas again. And I need to really kind of educate myself more than anything else. But I really like the looks of these. You can see a very European inspiration in the styling. Very much almost like Italian looking styling. Obviously, Japan has been very, very good at emulations, just call that, or homages to certain vehicles. But I feel like whenever Japan does make a homage of a vehicle, or especially back in the day, they were either massively improved upon or very, very, very well honored in regards to styling, at least, right? You can see a lot of inspiration from a lot of cars, but nowadays, right, people are looking towards Japan as for their innovation and their looks and their styling. So, kind of coin is flipped, but really kind of based off of a lot of quality, right? That was the biggest thing in how Toyota figured out, Kaizen manufacturing too as well, and focusing on quality and raising the quality standard. So, let's just jump right in the part. Okay, so it looks like we are finishing the seat here. We've got the bottom of the seat, we've got some brackets. Looks like we have some more springs, kind of emulates the softness too as well. Kind of same thing. Adding in the seat portion too as well. It looks like, are we combining everything? Oh, we are. Okay, cool. So we're going to be combining everything to get our finished seat. All right, so let's jump right into it and take a look at our parts. Okay, jumping right into it, let's just grab the main piece here. If I can grab it out of here without disrupting any of this fabric. As mentioned last time, this is a rubberized base. You can see me kind of flexing it right there. Rubberized base with a, I guess they use a powder. They use a glue and a powder to give it that kind of texture, that look of fabric. But yeah, this is soft because it is rubber, but they use the texture. And what I really like and appreciate is the kind of sewing lines that they put in. They didn't need to put that kind of detail in. They could have just left it as such, but that looks really cool to have that look on there too. Got a bracket here. Now this is plastic. Another bracket here, and this one's actually metal. So we got a metal bracket and a plastic bracket. Another metal bracket there, and luckily, I believe, yeah, it looks like it. They kept it kind of idiot proof. These look actually a little bit more even, so I'll have to take a look and make sure. But one, if you look at the profile, one is definitely longer than the other, so hopefully that'll help the guidance. Got a left arm here, side here. That actually is so funny. Look at the detail in that. You see that right there? The little nub there? That is actually the recline feature on the seat. So on the left side, you'd pull that up and it would recline the seat. So they actually put that in the plastic. Really cool. I'd be surprised if they actually added in that feature into the seat. We've got a nice soft spring here. Another nice soft spring here. And some AM screws. All right. Got that, and that's the entire part. So we'll get set up and get started. Okay, first things first, we're taking our sheet here and we're going to do the same thing we did last time, where we are inserting this in here. I told you that there are one's a little bit taller than the other, and it's pretty obvious because on this one, the one's a little deeper than the other. So we're going to take this taller side, slide that under there just like that, and we just need to kind of get this worked out right here. Finger in there, and there we go. That is attached. Perfect. And then we take this portion, which is a metal underside bracket, and attach these two springs right here, just like we did on the backing. And then we take this and we just flip it over on here. So that's on the back side, just like so. All right, so now we got this backing on with the springs. You can see how it's actually kind of sprung off that, which is kind of nice. Hopefully it'll give it a nice little feel. So we're going to take these AM screws here, and we're going to be attaching this to the back side. So looks like we have a bunch of AM screws. Attaching 4 of them at these points right here. And I'm going to put in 2 in the corners just to kind of make sure this is held down for the other ones too. One of my biggest concerns with this model in general is cross threading, because there's a lot of screws. And if you don't know what cross threading is, it's basically you accidentally screwing up and getting the threads done and just kind of making it kind of awkward and making stuff not fit. It's more vital, obviously, in a real car than in a model car, but it's something that you don't want to like have happen, because you can strip out holes and, you know, get supports not done right. Okay, got the seat springs in, and with that, you know, you do get some little bounce action here in the seat itself. So again, as I've said, through the 60 some odd parts that we've done already, I'm just so blown away by this detail. Like, you didn't need to have springs in here to simulate cushion flex when you could have just left it rubber. But you have that, right? If you push down on these, you're gonna feel feedback, which is so cool. All right, next part. We're gonna be taking and flipping this over again. We're gonna be taking this bracket here, and we are going to get this aligned. I'm trying to figure out the alignment here of what goes where. Oops, I totally missed this one. I screwed up and put in the wrong hole. This one is supposed to go in this other hole. Luckily for me, they are all AM screws, so not that big of a deal when I was talking about cross-threading. In regards to alignment, it looks like this portion is going to go down like this, and we do have a L marking right there, and this is supposed to go just like here. And this is the bracket, obviously, that we're going to use to attach the seat into the vehicle. So with that in that direction, sitting in the holes. Okay, now that bracket is on the seat. We will take this portion here. Looks like we attach it right there on both sides, on the inside. And oh yeah, really nice and pretty easy actually to insert, thankfully. And looks like we have a couple positions. You have this one, and you can see where the limitations are right here on the bracket. You could have it, tipped up like that, or back in the kind of driver's position. I think you're going to be able to adjust that too as well, depending on the the screws that we haven't put in yet. So let's see, when are we putting? Oh yeah, you're going to be putting in screws here, but it looks like we're only putting it on one screw on this side first, right? We put it on this side, because this is going to be the side of the door, and this is going to be the center of the vehicle. So it's going to be on this side here. And then this one is going to be on this side here. Now there are two holes here, but it looks like we're only be using this one, the small hole. Leave it there. Okay, got a couple extra screws, but with that, we're done with the seat. The driver. This is actually the driver's seat, so let's focus in on that, and just take a look at the details. So, just as a reminder, we'll go ahead and zoom out just a little bit, get the full seat in view. Just a reminder, this headrest goes up and down to whatever position you want. It actually is rubberized too, so there is a little bit of give, which is really nice. The back of the seat too is sprung, so there's some spring in there to kind of give it a little springy feel. Cushion your butt as well down here with springs here in the seat. You can see the detail. Again, they did not need to put in, but they did. The detail of the tilt recline in the seat too as well. Super cool. And also the seat position, right? So if you're in a driver's seat, you can obviously have it like this, or if you're going to recline and relax like this, or if you're trying to let people into your vehicle, just like that. Super cool to see this thing in real life, the small details of like these kind of rivets in the back too. What an awesome piece. Like, I actually would love to even just have, I don't think they have a mod. There was no mod for like racing buckets. Would be kind of cool. And then just like have this one sitting as a display because you took your driver's seat out and you put it in. put it in your vehicle, but your your OEM driver seat, you kind of like you leave somewhere in your shop. So in like the setup for display, you have your Corolla, but you also have like your seat stuff, your spare parts, just kind of laying there. Super cool though. Yeah, that is part number 62 of the Toyota Sprinter Trueno AE86 by DeAgostini. Let's take a look and see what our next part looks like. I don't know what that is. Let me take a quick look real quick. Okay, so maybe we're not done with the seat. This is the seat back frame. So maybe we're missing something that I'm not seeing. Maybe it's brackets underneath. I don't know. Anyway, we're not done with the seat apparently. So that's going to be part number 63. But if you guys haven't already, please like the video. Subscribe if you haven't too as well. Really do appreciate your support. I know this has been a long process, especially with the delays I had with the problems with the one part that had been missing. But I really do want to thank you guys for joining me today. My name is Micho Makes. Really do appreciate your love and support. But I'll see you guys in part number 63. We'll keep on rolling with this part. But I'll see you guys in part number 63. We'll take one more step closer to getting this thing done. Bye for now.